And we're live. Hey, everybody, welcome to episode 62 of the Multiverse show on this glorious Monday. Thank you guys for showing up. We do appreciate it every time you guys decide to peep your heads in the door. We always appreciate it. But real quick, going through our panel tonight, going with our our co-host for the evening. Start with Nick.
Oh, what's going on, everybody? Glad to be back on the podcast again on a Monday, and hopefully everyone's having a great start to their week.
All right. And we got Mike.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's Mike from the Inner Circle. Thank you for joining us once again. We have a delightful episode planned for you tonight. Yes.
All right. And James.
I like how you say our co-host for the evening, as if like one day we're just going to go away.
My contract's up in a week, so.
All right, and we got James. So, all right, let's get this party started. Real quick, going through the panel, what have you guys been playing today? Let's start with James. What you been up to, man? What you been playing?
Dark Souls 3.
Dark Souls 3.
Weirdly enough, someone lent it to me over the weekend, and I haven't actually played it. I played Bloodborne and did the original Dark Souls 2, so I thought I should play Dark Souls 3, and I love the series and I'm really enjoying it. It's a good game.
Sounds like fun. All right. And Mike, what have you been up to, man? What you been playing?
So I beat What Remains of Edith Finch on Xbox, and that game, it sounds cliche or whatever, but that game is a masterpiece. You're not going to get it until you actually play it. It doesn't matter what system you own, if it's PS4, if it's Xbox One. If you haven't played that game yet, you need to play it. It really is that good. Other than that, I played a little bit of the beta for Destiny 2, which got a little boring, to be honest, because all I did was play the story mission at the beginning and a couple PvP matches, and that was it because there's only one map. So,
yeah, man, I definitely understand that too, because with Destiny 2, it's pretty bare bones with that
really is.
beta. Like it's that story mission that you start with, which you can't replay. Then it's what's the other one? You have to do
there's one strike and there's one PvP
strike
map.
Yeah, then PvP. That's it. Like it's very, very, very different than the Destiny 1 beta for sure. They gave a little too much with that first beta.
They did. I think people got burnt down on the first one before it even came out.
Yeah, that was rough. Anyway, what about you, Nick? What you been up to?
I was pretty bummed out all weekend. Just kind of had a not going to say a bad weekend, but just wasn't really feeling it. So I hopped on Rainbow Six with you, and that was about it for my weekend. I didn't really play a lot. Just kind of watched some Netflix, tried to catch up on some shows. Yeah, that's about it for me.
You watching iZombie?
No, I keep meaning to go back and watch that. I'm trying to catch up on all the Marvel shows that I've never watched.
Oh, is anyone else for the Marvel shows are too long for they're too many episodes for 13?
I think it depends on who it is. I think Daredevil was fine. I think Jessica Jones went on too long.
Oh, I completely disagree. But weirdly enough, Defenders is only like 8 or 10.
So what was that?
I said, weirdly, the Defenders TV show that's coming up is only like 8 or 10 episodes.
That's weird. I know. Netflix has been kind of experimenting with a couple of their shows about just doing 10 episodes. I know they've been going around with that, but
I prefer it. I prefer shorter seasons.
I feel like it depends on the show. Some shows can benefit from having a longer runtime. Some don't. But yeah, I mean, normally for me, I don't really like watching TV shows. I like watching movies more because it's a contained 2-hour, maybe 3-hour commitment, and you have a very limited time to get across characters. So I enjoy that personally. But yeah. So for me, what I've been playing, I played a little bit of Rainbow this weekend. I've been playing Grow Up. Sorry, but Grow Up, and I was very surprised by that game. I thought that game looked like garbage initially. very surprised me. I also played What Remains of Edith Finch, and what else is there? I played a little more of Uncharted 2 today. So it's been pretty fun. I've been enjoying it, man. All right, Mike, you also got to try something we needed to try. Splatoon 2. What do you think?
It really now. I think the game is good. I think it's a really good game. It feels fun, and I think it still feels unique compared to other shooters that are out there. I didn't start the campaign yet. I've only played some multiplayer, which you have to reach level 10 to get in a ranked battle, and I'm level 7 now. So until you get into ranked battle, the only thing that you could play is Turf War, which is the mode where you just cover as much of the map as possible in your team's ink color. And it's still a fun mode, but I get a feeling from it that it really could have been DLC for Splatoon 1. I mean, of course, it looks better. There's new weapons. There's a few new maps in it. But it really could have been DLC. And one thing that frustrates me is they still stuck to that stupid map rotation thing. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, not all of the maps are available all at once. They only give you 2 maps on any given day. And then I believe it's once a day they rotate those 2 maps out for 2 more maps. So you end up playing the same 2 maps over and over and over again.
Is there a reason for that? Or have they ever disclosed why they do it that way? That seems like a really time-consuming and weird system.
I have no idea. And whenever you log into the game, you get the 2 news reporter squid people. I don't remember what their names are on the new one, but they announce like, okay, these are the maps that are in the rotation for today. I don't know why they do it like that. Like I said, I think it's a good game. It's definitely fun. But, if you didn't like the first Splatoon, this isn't going to convert you.
Have you tried to play with the voice chat?
I did not. I was.
Is it because it seems like the most convoluted thing in the world?
I was not even going to go there.
Yeah, I've some other journalist friends of mine who were specifically asked to try and play it with the voice chat. About 10 minutes in, they gave up and just talked over Skype.
I was going to say, the way that it's set up, you're probably just better off with Skype or Discord or something like that.
Yeah, because you can't have the app on in the background. You have to have it open.
Yes.
On your phone. So if you get a text, you can't check that. You can't check it.
You cannot. It doesn't stay open in the background. So if you leave that app to go into something else, it kicks you out of the voice chat.
That's insane.
My OCD with checking my Twitter in between rounds would not comply with that.
I know. Or me listening to ASMR as I wander around Anno Londo.
One of the things that I will say, if any of you guys do decide to play Splatoon 2, leave the motion controls on. You could use the gyro in the controller to help your aim, and it really does work in this instance better than the right stick. So I think the motion controls work a little bit better than traditional controls.
See, that was something I was talking to a guy on Twitter, Blandrew. There, I was talking to him about it, and how the Nintendo Switch has really stepped up. Like in previous Nintendo games, the motion controls always felt kind of gimmicky, but with some of the Nintendo Switch titles, the motion controls are actually make the game actually enhance the experience, which is kind of cool. Now that they're not using it as like a crutch, it's just an additional feature, right? It seems pretty cool.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna lie.
Exactly, and it gives you another option for control. So if you want to use the motion controls, it's there. And all you have to do, if your aim gets a little bit off, is press Y, and it instantly recenters it. So it's nice to have the option there. If you want to use the motion controls, that's there. If you want to use traditional controls, that's there too. So it's nice that they give you options in that regard.
That's pretty cool.
All right, it sounds like a lot of fun. Honestly, the thing that really caught me off guard was I was watching the what was it? So I was watching Twitter, and the guy who's the creator of My Hero Academia was doing fan art for Splatoon 2 in the My Hero Academia art style. I was like, wow, that's really cool. I thought
someone confirmed to me, are they throwing ink or paint?
It's ink.
But they use rollers.
Is it ink roller?
It's an ink roller. It's not a paint roller. It's an ink roller.
Get it right, James.
It's technically.
I don't know. That's why I'm
because they're
asking the
squid
question,
people.
Ivan.
No, I'm a kid now. I'm a squid now, and all that jazz.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The whole character setup of Splatoon and like I sit there. I wish I was been part of that board meeting when they came up with that game.
One thing I will give Splatoon is that if you're in the mood to play an online shooter that's different and you're kind of burnt out on like the Call of Duties and Battlefields, I mean, if you have a Switch, give it a try because it is different and it is a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a different mindset too because it's not just about taking out other people. It's about covering space, controlling.
But here's the thing: if I want to play a fun and colorful first-person shooter with like friends on a console that I can do stuff, I'm just going to play Overwatch.
I knew you were going to say that.
I knew the Overwatch thing was going to come.
And here's the thing: if Overwatch ever comes to Switch, that's it for Splatoon.
Oh, I agree with you. I agree with that, but it's still fun.
I mean, considering there's no other really big shooters on there.
Well, see that's Splatoon's market, and why when there was people out there saying that Splatoon wasn't going to sell well because it felt more like Splatoon 1.5 than an actual sequel. Thing is there's not a huge amount of multiplayer shooter style games on the Switch, so it's a very small not a small market, but like there's not a lot of games to flood the market with, so of course it's going to do well. And historically speaking, Nintendo exclusives as a general rule of thumb generally sell really well because that's why a lot of people buy a Switch or a Wii U and I'm not surprised that it's doing really well, and I really hope it continues to do well because with being a mainly online game, it's always good if you have a good, solid community backing up the game constantly, like Overwatch or anything along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
And also, happy birthday to Mr. Snake himself, Chris Cobra, in the chat. If you have a question for us, please ask it.
All right. Hey, we got Fastback in here. All right. Now we're rolling. All right, guys. So we got to get some of the topics for the evening as we get things rolling on. Let's start with a brief overview of Comic-Con. There was a lot of stuff that got announced every year. There's tons of things that get announced for Comic-Con, and we'll get into Crackdown a little bit after this little segment here. I wanted to kind of get into we're gonna do kind of like a rapid fire kind of situation here. I'm just gonna call out something that happened. You guys tell me immediate impressions. Just blurt it out. We got to get through. So we have like at least 20 topics here. we got to blurt through all of these because I feel all of these are so important. Any of them were wrong. Like we're doing a disservice to you guys, the fans who are watching the show. So, all right. So everybody ready?
Yes.
Hey, Mike.
Yep.
I'm speaking for them.
All right. Ready for these rapid reactions. All right. We'll start with the Kingsman trailer.
Love it.
Over the top and glorious.
Looks awesome. Makes me want to go back and watch the first one since I missed that.
It looks pretty good to me. Not super into it, but we'll figure it out. All right. Death Note, new trailer came out. Live action.
Pass.
I did not see the Comic-Con trailer. I saw the clip of Ryuk and the kid talking, and I'm sold. I knew Willem Dafoe was going to be good as a death god, but
that was it.
Also, I just want to say,
sold it for me.
In the panel, they interrupted it halfway through, and there was like a Skype call from Ryuk. Like Willem Dafoe's voice was talking to 20,000 people. It was apparently terrifying. Yeah, but that's going to be coming out next month on Netflix.
All right. Can't wait. All right, speaking of Netflix, Stranger Things.
I mean, I knew that this show was popular. I had no idea that at most recent count, the trailer on Facebook has 42 million views.
That's right. It's way too popular for its own good.
It's so popular. I mean, they've got enough money that they're using Michael Jackson songs in the trailers.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I watched 2 episodes of the first season, couldn't get into it, so it's a pass for me.
I love Stranger Things, so I'm really excited for this. It's everything I love about horror and children in the 80s.
I only watched for the child actors. They're probably some of the best that are out there.
And the lead guy's got the best name, Finn Wolfhard.
Mike, you care? Stranger Things?
It doesn't really appeal to me. I didn't see the first season of it. It might be something that I go back and watch, but
there's only 8 episodes.
Okay. I definitely did not get the vibe of it. It was like, oh, this is the best show ever, but it was okay. Like it was, like I said, the child actors were really good for what they were. It's definitely very Steven Spielberg with nostalgia kind of work. But anyway, on Bright.
Does anyone else here know what Bright is apart from me?
I do.
That was the Will Smith one, right?
Yeah.
Yes, this is the new Will Smith.
I thought that looked pretty good.
Will Smith Fairy Cop.
Yeah, so this is David Ayer's new film. This is the guy who directed Suicide Squad, and also he also directed good films as well. And he has pitched this. Hey, Suicide Squad's a terrible film, but David Ayer's a good director. He's pitched this as Lord of the Rings, but like 2,000 years later.
Yeah,
and it really does feel like that.
Yeah, it feels like a buddy cop movie, but with an entirely strange, whacked out premise. But I like it. It's just strange enough to work. But, you know, I've seen Stranger Things, so.
That's very funny.
Okay. All right, The Defenders.
Yeah.
I think it'll be cool because there's so many different aspects to it. It could be a really cool show. The trailer looks good, so maybe the show will be really good.
I just can't wait for the whole season to be any time Danny Rand says anything, someone just makes fun of him. I feel like that's going to be the whole show. He says one thing and Jessica just goes, "Oh, shut up," or something way funnier than that.
He got a season 2.
He has got a season 2, which is one season too many.
I think it looks good too. Based on what they showed, it looks great.
Yeah. Anyway, we got so much to cover. I want to delve into this, but we can't. This is not Netflix related, but it is HBO. Westworld season 2.
These violent nights have violent ends.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually still watching Westworld season 1 right now. I'm like halfway through.
Oh, all right, okay. I love Westworld.
I did not watch the trailer because I don't want to spoil anything.
Okay, I'm not going to talk about any spoilers or anything, but there is some major thing that season 2 is going to be vastly different to season 1, based on what happened in the last couple episodes. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be an exciting time. Next year, it's coming out next year. I like that they took a break out to make sure it's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's not really much to talk about from Westworld. It's just the panel was quite fun. That's it.
All right, so we got Warner Brothers real quick. Warner Brothers did their panel, and they had quite a few things to run through. We'll start with some of the DC stuff first. Aquaman.
Yeah, so the conference opened with Jason Momoa running through the middle of Hall H with his trident, which has 5 points on it, so it's not really a trident. And Jen just like running up and standing in the middle of the stage as a massive rock star. And then I nearly wet myself because Jason Momoa is amazing. And then there was an Aquaman trailer, and then they brought out the rest of the Justice League. And I gotta say, one very important thing about this, Gal Gadot was sitting in the middle, and she spoke the most out of anyone.
Yeah, she's the only one who earned a position to speak.
I will say that anytime Ezra Miller opened his mouth, something really funny came out.
I think Justice League looks promising. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing it. Here's a potential problem that I see, though. I think it's something that happened with Suicide Squad, where in Suicide Squad, I felt like, well, not felt like it was. Harley Quinn and Deadshot basically dominated the whole movie, and I feel like Batman and Wonder Woman are going to dominate Justice League, and that Aquaman and Flash aren't going to get their time to shine.
But the difference is that this Suicide Squad was marketed as a team film. This is them assembling the team. So I think it's a different scenario.
Mhm.
I feel like a better thing to compare it to would be the first Avengers.
Right.
Remember that Hulk is barely in the first Avengers film.
Yes, you're right.
Like the screen time that Hulk has is limited, but when he's on, he makes an impression. And I feel like whenever the Flash is going to be on screen, there will be an impression.
Hey, and the big thing I got out of the whole DC presentation was that they announced they're doing a Flashpoint movie.
Yes.
Which is like, really? It'll probably be more like in name only. Like, this is Flashpoint because it sounds cool, but not doing a reboot this early.
We should probably mention the figure that appears at the end of the Justice League trailer.
Nope. We all know it's Joss Whedon.
So somebody approaches Alfred in what we assume is the Batcave, and he goes, you're late, something like that. So the rumors are that it's either Superman, Green Lantern, or something else.
Yeah.
What do we think?
I think
probably Superman.
It's pretty obvious that it's Superman.
I know, but I quite like it not to be.
I hope it's Captain Marvel.
What, Brie Larson?
No, Shazam Captain Marvel. The only Captain Marvel. I refuse to manage Brie Larson.
Brie Larson is Bay. She's Bay Larson.
But Shazam.
No one cares about Shazam.
Everybody loves Shazam.
He's making bank. You don't think every time you say Shazam, it's for nothing, right? Anyway. All right. So on to other things in the WB panel. Blade Runner 2049. Anybody? Yes? No? Maybe so?
I mean, there wasn't really much to talk about. The panel was quite fun. It was really fun. It's grumpy Harrison Ford is the best Harrison Ford.
That's the only Harrison Ford.
That's the only Harrison Ford at his age.
Well, you say that he was very happy promoting the last Star Wars film because he knew he wouldn't have to do it anymore. And, but yeah, and spoilers for a 2-year-old movie. But no, Blade Runner looks really good. They just showed the trailer that was released a couple of weeks ago. Jared Leto appeared via hologram to announce the appearance of everyone else. That was quite fun. But now we have to question whether he was method acting as a hologram for the past 6 weeks.
Oh my god!
I have to be there.
I should have saw that joke coming.
Do you think? I'm wondering, did he send people like notes, but instead of like dead rats, it's got links to pictures of rats instead?
Oh my
god! All jokes aside, I really love Jared Leto. I think he's an amazing actor and a musician, and man.
Mm-hmm. All right. So the big one, probably the biggest news coming out of a Warner Brothers panel, from what I gathered, Ready Player One.
Who here's read the book?
Oh, I know what it is.
Nope.
I know about it.
Okay. Do you know the story vaguely?
I do.
Okay, so for those who don't know, Ready Player One is a book by a man called Ernest Cline, and it's pitched as Willy Wonka meets the Matrix. So this guy created a video game called The Oasis, and The Oasis turned from being a game, an MMO, to being basically shorthand for the internet. You can do anything in The Oasis. You go to school, you do your shopping, you watch play games. It is everything. And so the guy who created it died and left an Easter egg hidden somewhere in the Oasis. And the person who finds it gets the entire fortune. And our story takes up this guy. We're following this guy called Wade Watts. And things happen, and it's very fun. And the whole thing is set... Everyone has an obsession with the 80s in the book. So the whole thing has an 80s vibe. Everyone loves 80s films and 80s music and 80s fashion. Which is a weird thing that they need to get round, because Steven Spielberg is directing this film, and there's going to be no mention of Steven Spielberg properties, apparently.
Weird.
But it is weird because Spielberg plays a massive part in the original book. So I don't know how they're going to get around it. The trailer is cool if you've read the book. And I've heard from people who haven't read it, it makes absolutely no sense.
To me, it looked like trademarked the movie.
Pretty much.
In a way.
How many Warner Brothers trademarks can we fit into a single film trailer? Trademark.
Yeah. But some aren't Warner Brothers. Like the DeLorean isn't a Warner Brothers property.
I want to check that.
Halo assault rifle definitely wasn't a Warner Brothers trademark.
I'm pretty sure the Freddy Krueger is also not a Warner Brothers thing, or the Iron Giant. Anyway, but the point is that Steven Spielberg has managed to get all of these properties into this film. I think this film looks very exciting, and for pop culture nerds, as we all are, this is going to be either one of the best films for our kind of people, or it's going to annoy the hell out of us.
Back to the Future is Warner Brothers. Pretty sure Iron Giant is.
Oh, I take it back.
Warner Brothers, whatever they were doing, their whole animation stint. That was them.
Okay. Anyway. Ready Player One looks really cool, and the cast looks really good as well.
Yeah. I mean, it looks kind of cool. I just want to, I don't know. I want to get past that initial stage. I want to see more of the actual story, not trademarks.
I think read the book would be the best way to go to get about that.
I was going to guess that.
I mean, the book is not incredibly well written, but the concept and the idea is so good that it keeps you going. And you know, this is set in a world where virtual reality actually works, so that's just a nice place to think about.
Oh,
small burns. All right. Anyway, we got to get into some of the Marvel stuff because we got to get down to this Crackdown stuff. We're getting in there. All right. So Marvel had a pretty wide margin here. So first off, the next movie coming out is Thor Ragnarok, which they released a second trailer, which everybody here has finally seen. What do you guys think?
We love it.
I thought it looked great.
pass.
Pass.
I hate Thor. Hate Thor.
Yeah,
I just looking at Thor just ticks me off.
I used to agree with you until I took an arrow to the knee. I bet you weren't expecting that, were you?
I was really expecting that from you, James.
Anyway,
no, I'm just not a huge Thor guy. I'm not a huge Marvel guy as it is, but Thor is definitely not even a character that I would go see a movie on by himself.
I was completely in your thing, but here's the thing: he's not by himself. He's got Mark Ruffalo with him.
Yeah, it's the Hulk. It's the end of the trailer. It's
he's a friend from work.
like fire and water.
Speaking of Thor and the Hulk,
we're both like fire. It's like, but Hulk, raging fire. You're smoldering fire.
Speaking of Thor and the Hulk, there was an episode of the original Incredible Hulk series. I'm talking about the one with Bill Bixby as Bruce Banner. And in one of the episodes, Thor was in it. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. Because they're in like a hotel room and somebody's knocking on the door, and Thor opens the door and he goes, "What is it that you pound on my door with such insolence?" And I remember falling out of the chair. I was laughing so hard.
All right. So, little bits and pieces here. They announced that Ant-Man and the Wasp, which is the sequel, has their original Wasp. And it's going to be Michelle Pfeiffer.
But she's Catwoman. She can't be two superheroes. What is this, 2017?
Wait, Michael Keaton is the Vulture and the Wasp as Michelle Pfeiffer is the Wasp in the same universe again.
Oh
and
my
reverse
God.
positions.
I didn't even think of that.
They're in reverse positions this time.
Oh, that's interesting. That is interesting.
Takes role reversal to a whole nother level.
I just want more Paul Rudd and Michael Pena. That was such a lovely pairing.
Yes. Paul Rudd. I remember when they cast him as Ant-Man, I was like, this is going to be so dumb. And Ant-Man has quickly become my favorite person in the MCU.
Yeah, I'm actually right in there with you. Like when I saw the trailer for Ant-Man, I was like, Paul Rudd's playing a superhero. This is gonna be awful. Then I saw it, I was like, this isn't awful. What is this?
I mean, when I heard it was
Civil War just for his scenes.
And when I heard it, Paul Rudd stars in new Edgar Wright film. That's how I read the headline. And then it turned out to Paul Rudd stars in Marvel film directed by Man Who Doesn't Matter. Take that, Peyton Reed.
All right. So also, we got some announcements. I want to start with Black Panther a little bit. We got some. We had to see the poster for Black Panther.
Wow.
So, this was pretty good. The trailer, I think they did.
It was not a
I don't think it was at Comic-Con though. I think it was a couple days before.
Yeah, it came out like a week ago, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, Black Panther? Right. No, it came out ages ago.
Yeah.
Wasn't it a few months ago?
Right. Was it?
Yeah, it was a while. It was like a month ago.
Yeah.
There was another one, a second trailer.
Oh, was there?
Oh,
there was a second trailer like a week ago.
If there was, it hasn't been officially released. I don't think. I could be completely wrong.
No, it was officially released. I saw it.
Oh, I take it back. I'm sorry.
All right. So the other one, the bigger news really was Captain Marvel was kind of detailed out. We didn't really see any footage. I don't think we did.
I don't know if there was any.
I was tripping balls the whole time. So.
Or the whole time you were just shouting Shazam, and everyone just kept looking at you disappointedly.
Shazam! But they announced that this movie is going to be taking place in the 90s.
Which means which means Radiohead could be in the soundtrack, boys. This is all I want.
Oh god.
Oh man! But the big thing about it too, and this is probably the big one. So, guess who the villains are going to be in this movie? The Skrull.
Who?
The Skrulls. So. This is a big deal. This is a very big deal because in Marvel, the way their kind of deal is set up is that anyone who's kind of introduced or popularized in a certain kind of like a certain book series kind of has the rights to them. So like the situation with Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, it was kind of up in the air because they were created and done in the Fox the Fox books and with X-Men, and with Marvel, Disney Marvel got to use them because they were in the Avengers too. So a little bit of overlay. This has been the issue with Submariner in particular. Like, who owns the rights to this one for the movies? So the question has become, what about the Fantastic Four? They're kind of getting close out there. Now the Fantastic Four, and I believe it's actually issue 2, introduces the Skrulls. The Skrulls are a Fox property. And they just announced that the Skrulls are going to be in an MCU movie.
The times they are a-changing.
Times they are a-changing, my friends. We could see Fantastic Four. The barriers have gone down a little bit.
But here's the thing: the best Fantastic Four film we're going to get over the coming years is Incredibles 2.
Yeah,
you're not wrong.
And yeah, that's kind of like keep your ears to the ground, Multiverse fans. We could be hearing something about Fantastic Four coming up. We don't know. I gotta keep your hearts and minds open. Hope, please, please let it happen. By the way, they announced some sort of Doctor Doom movie, whatever. We don't care. Doctor Doom is my favorite supervillain of all time, but I'm not paying attention to it.
The thing about Doctor Doom, right, he's impressive and scary in comics, but when you say Victor Von Doom out loud, sort of loses some of the fear, doesn't it?
You gotta say it in the right tone, though.
I know, but the problem is the films never say it in the right tone.
No, see, whenever you say Victor Von Doom, I just imagine Bane from the Nolan trilogy, Batman series saying it, and that's the only way I can hear it.
Victor.
Oh, no. You put your mouth into a cup, it's perfect.
Are you saying that Tom Hardy should have another role?
All right. So, also the last little bit before we get into this Crackdown. I'm sorry we're making you guys wait for Crackdown. Infinity War trailer was
Comic-Con is
leaked.
1 weekend a year. We have to talk about this.
Okay, Infinity War trailer finally got leaked. This thing was shown off at D23. I think there was one leak that got taken down. No one got to watch it though. But this time, the fans were prepared and they recorded that crap. They put it on there. So I got to see the leaked footage and oh my god, that's insane.
I have not seen the leaked footage. I have heard from people that it is basically just people being thrown about in space and Thanos throwing like an asteroid at the Avengers.
No, he throws a moon. Thanos throws a moon.
You ever get so mad at everything you just want to throw a small orbiting object at people?
Oh my gosh,
Yes,
that's
I have.
so crazy. I think most of them have been taken down now, but if you can find it, it's worth watching in the low quality. It's worth watching.
Yeah, it was very. The one I saw was like a pirated of a pirated of a pirated. It was probably in like 210p, but still looked really, really good. Good. I'm actually really excited for
to watch it.
That's Trent Reznor's favorite way to watch stuff. Of a copy of a copy of a copy of stuff.
He's a very unique character, that's for sure.
Oh, one final thing, DC has. Oh, sorry, actually, Marvel has that DC doesn't. Jeff Goldblum.
Oh,
You mean when it's good to have Jeff Goldblum on the stage.
I can't wait for him to do Grandmaster. Can't wait. This is gonna be crazy.
I just want him to I just want the loop of his laugh in Jurassic Park at the end of every one of his lines.
Now we're eventually going to have dinosaurs on your dinosaur tour.
All right. So finally, the pièce de résistance, the topic people have been waiting for. Microsoft went to Comic-Con.
Why, we don't know.
Because they want the money, that's why.
They decided let's use Comic-Con as a good time for comic book nerds and movie people, which on paper sounds like a very good idea, right? I mean, hey, there's a lot of blending between barriers here. Lots of movie guys are video game guys. Lots of comic guys are video game guys. Apparently, that wasn't the best idea. And people are talking about, oh, we don't think it looks that good, yada, yada, yada. Gameplay, though. Some of that gameplay was so bad.
That gameplay was awful.
What was it? Phil Spencer even came out and said, like, I'm not going to judge people for not being gamers, but sometimes you got to remember to use the LT. You got to use the left trigger. The aim downside. Just, oh my gosh, that was just cringy. But real quick, I kind of want to get your impressions on the gameplay that you saw real quick. Let's start with Mike. What do you think about this gameplay?
What is this game going to look like? Because I feel like every time Microsoft shows this game, it looks different. And it just looks so bland and lifeless here. Now, I understand that I think it was pre-alpha gameplay, right?
I don't know if they confirmed it.
At least that's what I've heard, was that it was pre-alpha gameplay. But still, for them to show a game that looked that bland and that lifeless so close to release is concerning. I thought it was especially funny when the one dude was playing. I don't remember what his name was. And he jumped down into the street, and it looked like the SUV was humping the other car from the back.
Yeah.
for like 150 feet. I don't know. It just didn't look good at all. It looked like an Xbox 360 game from 2006, to be honest.
It looked like Crackdown 1.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, all right. What about you, Nick? Where are you sitting on this? We shocked him to death.
It got deleted. Yes.
The gameplay broke him.
Have you like actually seen any other wrestlers ever, Mike?
Of course I have. I grew up
Okay.
in the Attitude Era. Stone Cold Steve Austin, the what crap?
I
Yeah.
know, but it's just like just say another catchphrase, goddammit.
What?
All right, we'll skip to James. What do you think about this?
Oh, I haven't seen it. I don't care.
Do you think they should even bother doing video game stuff at Comic-Con?
Yes, of course they should. Why not? If it's good.
All right, one sec. Nick just said his hangout crashed. He'll be back in a minute.
I mean, like, imagine if one of the Arkham games had their worldwide launch at Comic-Con. That would be amazing.
Or the new Spider-Man game.
Or the Spider-Man game. Perfect example.
Mm-hmm.
But I think keep it in tune with what Comic-Con is.
But with that being said, when you decide to show your game at an event, it doesn't matter what the event is, you want to make sure you're showing your game at its best. And that was not at its best. I mean, it's based on how it looks right now. It was really disappointing. I'm certainly not going to be getting it on day one. I know that much. Especially after that showing. Like, I definitely have a wait and see with that game now. Like, when it comes out, and if it looks decent when it comes out, then I'll get it in like the Black Friday sale or something like that. But if that's what the game looks like when it launches, then I'm going to be passing on it.
I don't know. I do agree that like it's really confusing what art style they're going for.
Right.
I mean, you know they're going for the cel shaded look, but it's like in some shots it's heavily stylized, and some shots it's like, tastefully done. Like when they showed off Terry Crews, like Terry Crews looks great. I think like that's the perfect model they should be going for. But then it's like you see other ones and it's like, it was okay. But I don't know. I feel like Crackdown, like it's one of those things where Microsoft really kind of bit themselves in the butt because
That's
this
an
didn't need to be.
interesting position.
Was it?
That's an interesting position.
I mean, they didn't have to do this. They could have. I'm not even talking about Comic-Con. I'm just talking about like in general, because the issue I see is that they've just allowed themselves so much pain. Like no one will be questioning Crackdown if all they had to do was just say $3.99 for the X. That's all they had to do. I'm going to come back to this. Like that's all they had to do, because people wouldn't care.
Yeah, but it's not a console. It's a MySpace username.
Yeah. No, it's a gamer tag. You have to have X's in there.
Yeah.
You have to have multiple X's.
It's got 3 X's at like the front, middle, and the end. It's nearly a palindrome. I'm never getting past how terrible this name is. Anyway.
I don't know.
I don't know. I think a lot of this stuff is like they just. The thing about Crackdown is like I played Crackdown 1. I like Crackdown 1. I had dabbled a little bit with Crackdown 2. Didn't bother. But I mean, it just. A lot of this stuff was stuff they didn't have to get into, and they screwed up big time with it. And I wish they didn't have to do this to themselves.
You know what? Honestly, at the end of the day, they would have been better off just not showing it. With all the negative publicity that's come out of it, they would have been better off just not showing it at all.
My question is, does Microsoft have no game that would work in the current Comic-Con year? There's no game that would fit in anything they have.
This year, not that I could think of.
Yeah, and Crackdown was a real push. Like, I don't know. Like I don't think any. That's why I was saying, like, why are they even here? I mean, yeah. There's people like there's video game people here, but at the same time, it's like you're not. These are people who are like they want comic book properties and movie properties, but Crackdown doesn't even have that big of a name to itself, like to make people excited.
And the other reason why you got to make sure that you show that game good is because it's a launch title for the X. So you really want that to be looking good, and it did not.
Yeah, it really disappointed. But yeah, what about you, Nick? What do you think about this Crackdown footage? Now that you're finally back.
Uh-oh.
Oh, he's gone again. Jeez.
Oh, and one last thing about Crackdown 3. What was up with the lack of destruction? Like, at one point, he threw a grenade at the building and nothing happened.
I honestly didn't notice it.
Threw a grenade or some type of explosive hit the building and nothing happened. I don't know.
I don't know. Nick, you there? What happened?
Mm.
All right, well.
I will say there's one thing from Comic Con we didn't talk about. A little Jordan Vogt Roberts was there just as a punter. This is the man who directed Kong Skull Island, and the guy who was set to direct the Metal Gear film. And he was asked who he'd like to play Snake, and his answer was Chris Evans.
Yes, in that picture. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The picture they have for Infinity War was perfect. Oh my gosh, that was cool. I actually got a picture. I'll put it up in the on Twitter. I'll put it out on the Multiverse show so you guys can see. Someone actually photoshopped him a little bit to look like Snake.
Yeah. Just give
and it
give
doesn't
him a
look like
cigar.
it's that big of a change. That's the coolest part.
Give him a
Hashtag not
cigar
my
and he's there. It's so good. Right, since we got a bit of time to kill and we've sort of done talking about stuff, Anchor, what's up with your love of Euron Greyjoy?
Man, you're on Greyjoy. That he won me over. And like, I'm not going to do any spoilers for Game of Thrones. This is just basically the uncle who's in the Uncle Greyjoy character. Just this guy is hilarious. Oh my god, his facial expressions are just—it's so funny. I was dying. I mean, it's just so. I can't explain it, man. And they changed this character so much from season 6. Like season 6, he's barely in it. He's in there for like half a second. He's very stoic. He's really kind of quiet. But this time, he's like all off the wall madman. It's just so fun to watch. I just love it, man.
So I'm a big fan of the current season of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, what'd you think?
I like Euron, but I really liked Yara. I think she's a really good character. And so I didn't like the offset of what happened last season.
All right. Anyway, I don't know what's going on with Nick, but we got to wrap up the show.
We got time to kill. Can we do keyword countdown?
Sure, let's do that.
Let's do it. Right. If you don't know what keyword countdown is,
Wait, what is this?
Keyword countdown is a game that a friend of mine created. I take 10 plot keywords from IMDb, and you have to guess what film I'm talking about.
Okay.
All right, we'll do 3 of them. So let's go.
Okay. All right. There's a theme to these. Right. Number 1. Toronto, Canada.
Undead.
Number 2. Cat fight.
Scott Pilgrim Saves the World.
Yes.
There you go.
Right. Wow. Wasn't expecting that to happen. Right. Second film. Plot keyword number 1. Conspiracy.
Jason Bourne.
No. Mike, please chime in at any point with guesses.
Oh, I thought I had to wait for all the keywords. Okay.
No.
All right.
Plot conspiracy. Number 2. Megalomaniac.
Oh.
Number
Batman
3.
vs. Superman.
What?
Batman vs. Superman.
Number 3. Kiss to avoid being seen.
Sure.
Yeah. God damn it! You're steaming this. You're steaming this.
Like
All right. Third film. Clue number 1. Threesome.
Wait. The Hangover.
No. Clue number 2. Volcano.
James Bond.
Clue number 3, Manhunt.
What was that?
Manhunt.
Most dangerous game.
No. Clue number 4, experimental technology.
Minority Report.
Clue number 5, assassin.
That's really vague.
Clue number 6, strangled to death.
Strangled to death.
Strangled to death. Clue number 7,
Tangled.
woman in a bikini. Clue 8, sequel to a reboot. Clue 9, captain. And clue 10, space.
What was that?
There we go.
Clue
All
10,
right.
space.
I don't
You
know.
lost me.
No, it is Star Trek Into Darkness. Right, full
I
film.
guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Full film.
my mind space was all in James Bond.
All right. 2 more. We'll run through these. Full film. Clue number 1, radical transformation.
Lucy.
Clue number 2, police detective.
Metamorphosis.
Clue number 3, Bechdel test passed. Clue number 4, whipping.
AI. Is it AI?
AI? No.
Darn it. iRobot?
No. Clue number 4, whipping.
Next Saturday night.
No. Clue 5, White Russian.
Wait, what?
Oh, Big Lebowski.
No.
What?
Clue 6, female thief.
Catwoman?
Yeah. Who said Catwoman first?
Me.
Well done.
I don't even know what we're doing, but I said
Are we
Catwoman.
not talking about the White Russian drink or the White Russians?
No, the White Russian drink.
Oh.
Because she has it, but she doesn't have it with alcohol because she's a cat.
Oh.
That's the whole joke. This is not a good film. Right. Final film. Clue number 1, cemetery.
Pet Cemetery.
If only it was that simple. Clue number 2, babe.
Dead pigs.
Babe.
I don't know.
Babe the movie.
No.
Babe the movie.
Clue 3, horde.
Zombies.
Night of the Living Dead.
Night of the Living Dead. Well done,
All right.
sir. Right. Did anyone want to guess the theme? I'll say the films again. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Captain America, Winter Soldier, Star Trek Into Darkness, Catwoman, and Night of the Living Dead.
Romero.
It's in honor of Romero, but why?
People took inspiration from Romero.
No.
There are versions of zombies.
I'm not going to give it to you. Characters that come back from the dead.
Oh.
Someone comes back from the dead in all of those films. In honor of the George Romero's passing.
All right. But real quick, as we wrap this up too, I want to let Nick. What are your thoughts on Crackdown?
Oh God, yeah. See, I went to say my thoughts on Crackdown that my Windows 10 updated, so I'm thinking Microsoft is
Microsoft's trying to stop you there.
It was like, here's a Windows 10 update. I'm like, no. I don't know. I think Crackdown has potential to be a good game. I just think they're not showing it properly. Like, some people have told me it's pre-alpha footage is what they showed at Comic-Con, and my biggest concern is, why are we showing pre-alpha footage of a game that's supposed to be out in 4 months? We should be showing an almost polished, fully done product. This game was in development before PS4 and Xbox One even came out. Like, Crackdown 3 was supposed to be within the first year to 2 years of the Xbox One initial launch. So to see the game looking like that, and we're not even going to get into the disastrous of the actors playing it and everything else, that was just a train wreck. They're just not showing this game off well, and like people's disappointment in the lack of destruction and everything else. And then now I'm finding out people are saying that the destruction isn't in the single player campaign. It's only in the multiplayer or the multiplayer segments of the game. So there's as per usual with any form of Microsoft exclusivity, there is so much misdirection with it, and it's just going to turn a lot of people off of the game, which is a shame, because I think at the end of the day it will be a decent game. It's just not being shown properly, and they're not doing a great job of selling it right now. Just me personally, though.
Yeah. All right. And that'll wrap things up for the show here tonight. But real quick to our outros before we let you guys go. All right. And let's do our outro first with James.
Hello. At James_S Wilson is where you can come and talk to me on Twitter about films, video games, and especially the greatest band ever existing, Radiohead. Oh, and films are out right now. Dunkirk's really good. Captain Underpants is the surprise of the summer. If you've got young children or nieces and nephews taking to see Captain Underpants, you'll have a whale of a time. It's really funny.
All right, I remember reading those books in school.
Yeah,
me too.
No, it's it's as funny. Like they do all the things. They still do the flipperama, and there's like fake endings and stuff. It's great.
Wow. Yeah, that'd be fun. All right, and Mike.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in for another episode of the Multiverse Show. You can find me on Twitter at MikePTruth, also on Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, and on the Inner Circle at TICGN.com.
All right, and Nick.
Another great show. Glad to be on the panel talking Comic-Con stuff. You can find me on Twitter at Undead3XVI and Xbox and PlayStation. And you'll soon see some content on TickJam.com from me, hopefully in the next week or two. Excited.
All right, and then my name's AnchormanV2. You can find me on Twitter, Xbox, PlayStation, whatever. All Anchorman V2, you know, that synergy. Anyway, guys, this has been episode 62 of the Multiverse Show, episode 62 as mentioned before, and the greatest show on Mondays. We will see you guys later.
Snake Pass is terrible.
Oh.